Okay, so to reiterate, no, if you're probably wondering why we have a lot of activities, because every after lesson there is a designated activity. So usually, you would answer a module, but I do not want that. No, I want our class to be kind of like any other class and activity afterwards. So, since we are covering lesson 3 and 4 for tonight, so we have two activities. No, ang lesson 3 nag-advance na taog og assignment last week no katong absent ko because I was sick. And then i-pass din nyo siya karong Thursday, di ba? If you can still remember. That's the first activity for lesson 3. For lesson 4, I will post this one tonight for you to answer until Friday. So, taas-taas pa og time. Actually, easy man lang no. Tag 2 questions man lang ang ako ang ihatag. 1 or 2 questions raman for you to answer. So, again, for those who just came in, every after lesson na agitay activity that is to assess what you have learned and of course to assess the topics that we have discussed in both lessons 3 and 4. So muna every after lesson either we have a short quiz or like an essay. Okay, so it's important to really process everything in each lesson so that there is retention. Okay? So that may mo ba nga, sige naman activity si ma'am kada lesson, humanyag discuss activity da yun. Yan na siya, no? Kay kung ato siyang itingob, how will we know if you've really processed all of the things that I have discussed during our synchronous class, diba? So dapat gina-assess na to, gina-process na to siya. So, very short ra jud si lesson 3 and 4. Actually, lesson 3, 4, and 5 for module 1 covers localization. But since lesson 5 is medyo lengthy siya gamay but not as long as the previous lessons, that is why we're only going to discuss lesson 3 and 4 only. And then, ang lesson 5 by next week na lang. And then again, please take note of our new schedule. We will not be using every Thursday 6 to 8 na. We will now be moving it to every Tuesday together with section B from 6 to 8. Kay I have doctorate class sa Thursday for this semester. So, we have to really reschedule. Okay, so before we will start, I'll just show you a video since we're talking about localization. I will just pause my screen recording because due to copyright reasons, no, I cannot record the full video. Let me just pause. So again, localization is not just translating a certain product into like a regional language or translating a universal product na kuan siya nga maintindihan sa a certain consumer that lives in a certain country. It's not just that, no, localization goes beyond. But you're probably asking, why are we studying localization? Nga, it really sounds like a business strategy, and it's more on the business industry. Now, we have to take note that the hospitality management program, together with the tourism management program, are under the College of Business Administration and Management. And from the word hospitality management, no? Management. So, you are trained to become hotel managers in the future. And as managers, it's not just enough that we know, mga skills nga, kung ano, like soft or hard skills. Part na pod na knowing how to manage, knowing at least a basic business lang na kung ano ka ng mga basic business knowledge, no? Kay when we manage a certain business, a hotel is a business, no? A tour and travel agency is a business. Managing a cruise line is also a kind of business. No? Actually, business all around us. No? Even schools, no, hospitals, you need to have at least a basic knowledge in business for you to successfully run it. And localization is just one of the best examples of like marketing and business strategies that can help businesses sustain. So, not only that, no, not only because you are trained to become future managers someday, not just employees in a hotel or a resort or any other hospitality establishment, but you have to also consider that Chad and even kami as teachers, we would like our students to graduate with entrepreneurial skills. So, gone are the stigma or kanang mga misconceptions about tourism and hospitality nga pagwapa lang, luto-luto ra ang HRM. But in fact, no, I do not know in your curriculum, but back when I'm also a HRM graduate, no, back when I was in college, my entire subjects in entire third year level were all business subjects like marketing, finance. You even have basic accounting accounting. I don't know in HM sa inyo, no? Sa tourism, we have entrepreneurship, um, we have marketing, no? We have two marketing actually: tourism sustainability marketing, and the regular tourism marketing, no? Tourism promotions as well. So those are just some of the examples of business subjects, because we both have skills and business skills but and that really combines hospitality management. That is why we are learning about localization and globalization, and we inject this kind of business strategies in your lesson. So localization is actually some form of a business strategy that actually helps connect people to universal products, or it's a strategy among businesses to make sure that their international product can be accepted by other people that lives in a different country. So an example of that is what you see, diba, in Dunkin' Donuts. That was an example in the video just a while ago, diba? In the video, you see different varieties of Dunkin' Donut flavors. Like, you see Dunkin' Donut nga flavor sa Indonesia nga na ay Parmesan. Sa China kay ilaha savory ang ilahang donuts, no, kay they have pork and seaweed nga toppings. And then ang sa mga Mexican or mga Latina countries, they have dulce de leche, which just sounds like Filipino, but it's a Spanish delicacy, no, or sweets, ang dulce de leche. And then also sa mga Middle East countries, you have dates, no? Kanang masyag prune, kanang magdako nga raisin, pero ang uban kay maglainan sa taste ng dates, no? It's a family of grapes, or kanang himo siya raisin nga dako siya, no? So it's a popular food in the Middle East. So mo po na ilang toppings dito. Now, Dunkin' Donuts is an international company, but why do they alter the different flavors of their donuts to fit a certain like cultural food of a certain country? Well, that's localization, no? It means that you adjust your brand, you adjust your product that would fit the cultural needs of a certain country, that would really be accepted in a country because it's something that they are used to. Like in China, they like savory food, like they like seaweeds and pork floss, no? Kanang pork floss, kanang maghimay-himay nga pork. Hilig ka na ang mga Chinese when it comes to savory desserts. Which is weird because savory is medyo parat-parat siya, medyo umami siya og flavor, no? I don't know if you have hot kitchen karon sa first year, but umami is like one of the like taste like kuyog sa sour, sweet, salty. Ang umami is savory, no? Like an MSG, no, like Ajinomoto, no, kanang murag makapananam sa food. So, yung no, actually there are other brands that are doing localization. They adjust their brand, they adjust their product so that mas dali siya ma-accept sa mga different countries, okay? So later on, we will expand on that. So since we're talking about localization, I'll give you an example. Okay. So this is krating daing, no? Kani siya. I'll just enlarge the photo for you. Hopefully maka-share kog screen, no? Okay. To your right part, no, nakagikuan nga photo diri gipili, which is like a picture of two bottles, no? To your right, dili kay nako siya ma-expand. So, you see a can of Red Bull here, and then this one is Botilya, no? Pero actually this is Krating Daing. Krating Daing is from Thailand, and it literally translates to Red Bull. And Red Bull is actually a derivative of Krating Daing. So meaning ang gawnauna jud sa Red Bull is dili sa states ni siya nga drink. It originates from Thailand. So Thailand has energy drink called Krating Daing, which rose to popularity because it is kano kanang murag patok siya sa mga Muay Thai athletes, or Muay Thai nga mga I don't know how to call them kung players, Muay Thai athletes, mga truck drivers, no, or students who would like to stay up all night and have the energy to actually do their work. So, pang energy drink dun si Krating Daing. No? But this is really intended for Southeast Asian consumers. Now, since it becomes so popular nga, daghan na kaayo ang na hiyang no, or ginahan sa Red Bull or Krating Daing nga drink. So, they have their own derivative of the US nga version or the universal na nga version, no, which is Red Bull. So, ang Red Bull is heavily inspired, no, and a derivative from Krating Daing. And that is like an example of localization pa because if we sell Krating Daing on its own, like kung si Krating Daing ing ani lang atong ibaligyan niya, dili kaayo siya ing ana ka what do you call this? Dili siya ing ana ka enticing, dili siya ing ana ka encouraging ang itsura niya kay from the bottle itself murag haplas, di ba? No nya, the language pa jud is in Thailand. Isentay di ay sorry isentay so dili ka ka-intindi sa language. Unya if ikaw maglantaw, maglibog ka no kung unsa man ni siya, haplas ni or tambal because all you see is like a photo of two Red Bulls actually, no, and then with a label in Thai, and then it is pronounced as Krating Daing, and then you really do not know what it is. So it's not really that kung sana pa dili pa siya appetizing kaayo sa global consumers. Only those who are in Thailand can actually buy and patronize this product because they can understand the language. They don't really mind the packaging because they're used to this product na because it's their own. Like it's from Thailand, it's made in Thailand. So nandiyan na ko ano tendency nga mga taga-Thai jud no, mga mga taga-Thai ang maoy ko gusto mo palit ani or mo bakal ani. So what they did so that accepted siya by a wider audience nga dili lang mga Southeast Asian nga mga consumers ang mo-accept ani nga product is that they changed the packaging from a glass bottle nga very impractical to ship no because mabuak siya. At the same time, it looks like medicine. So they changed it into can so that it would look like any soda or even can compete with Monster Energy drink na naa sa can, naa sa lata. And then they changed the color, they changed the name into Red Bull like the English translation of Krating Daing so that it would be easier for consumers to understand the name of the label, the name of the brand, as well as the packaging. It's more appealing. It really looks like an energy drink. Diba? So, what they're doing there is localization. Because if Krating Daing will not do localization, if it will just remain the same, if they will sell Krating Daing as it is, like kung maura ni ang pagbaligya kay Krating Daing, dili jud makapalit ang tanan. Kaya not only that they could not understand, it doesn't really look appetizing, no? So, siguro sila okay raman. Pero again, no, look at the packaging. It looks like kuan po do sa, no? It looks like medicine on the first glance pa lang if you're not from Thailand. So, may iba nung may pagka-beer o packaging, but kani siya is siyang energy drink. Kaya ang flag pa lang daan, no, ang color pa lang daan sa Red Bull nga can, looks like a race car flag. O kanang marag flag na ginagamit for racing. No, looks like lang, no, the colors are very similar to that, which means like speed. Diba? So, it looks more appealing, is more acceptable to the general audience, diba? Or general consumers. Kaning naa sa, kaning kong i-point sa kong mouse, no, kaning naa sa right. So, that's one example of localization. You are a global brand. You could be like McDo, you could be like Red Bull, you could be like McDonald's. But if you want to extend your products to different countries like Philippines or Japan, or for example to UK, you have to adjust your product to fit to their cultural characteristics, to fit to unsay naanda nila, no, what they're used to, so that they can easily accept the product. Like if they see nga kani nga product masking global siya nga product but naa siya hint of Filipino, then we will buy it. May ana ang concept of localization. Now, let us start, no. Actually, that is not, di pa to siya mauang sa akong discussion, no. It's just like an introduction to it so that you can easily understand what it means. So, let us start with lesson 3 first. Okay. Very few lang, no? We have 24 slides compared to the previous. We have 40 slides, 50. So, very few lang ato ang discussion ron. And then, most of them, next ko man, no, kay redundant naman po iban. So, let us continue with our class now. We will proceed with lesson 3 first. Lesson 4 is just 5 slides. Actually, very few lang sa lesson 4, no? Importance of localization. 5 raman naka-importance, which we will discuss later on. So, this lesson presents the definition and important concepts of localization, which we already mentioned just a while ago. No? We had some few examples and also a basic definition of localization. So, at the end of this lesson, you'll be able to explain the concept of localization, the way that you have understood my explanation a while ago, and then discuss the importance of localization in business, because this is a very not 100%, but at least it's one of the most effective business strategies when it comes to starting a business, especially if you're going to expand your business internationally or even extending to other provinces. Localization is very important. It's effective, no? Sometimes if you're successful, your company can grow. That is why you have global businesses, like we have like Hyundai or Samsung or McDonald's, no, nga they started in US, abe. Si Samsung started in Korea. So nag-expand lang jud sila, no? Apple, for example, started in the US. Facebook, di ba? Until nag-expand sila. Nahimo sila global, not only like global sensation, but it's like a global brand na nga. Kung asa ka nga country, they can easily identify, this is Samsung, this is McDonald's, this is Facebook, di ba? So yung that is one of the advantages of applying localization in your business. So like what I've said, no, localization is adapting the product to meet the needs of the particular language. Either you translate your product from English to Filipino, that's localization, or you adapt your product to a certain culture or desired population's look and feel. A successful localized service or product is one that appears to have been developed within the local culture. In the video that you have seen earlier, diba, for example, you want to advertise your wrestling video game to India. Knowing that, no, wrestling is not really a popular sport in India, and you have doubts if wrestling a game will be highly accepted there, knowing it's not really a popular sport sa ilahang nga lugar. So what you will do to get their attention is that in your wrestling game, you will change the language into Hindi, like ang ilahang language, like, or Telugu, no, language sa mga Indians, and then you change the main character so that they can choose a player who is Indian. So at least it can really resonate and connect with the player because they can choose a character in the game na Indian din siya. And not only nga makaspeak siya in Indian, ang language sa instructions are in Indian. At the same time, the transcript or the feel of the game is more closer to Indian culture or sensitive of Indian culture, like for example, they don't let our players wrestle cows because cows are sacred animals in India. Mga nga example ba? That's localization, no? Katong i-mention yung example, which is what we discussed right now. So the aim of localization is to give a product and the look and feel of having created specifically for a target market, no matter what their language is, culture, or location. So this is very important because when we customize our product to really make sure mo fit sa culture ani nga country, like I'm an American brand, I'll customize my brand so that it will fit the culture of Filipinos. Ma-feel sa imong consumers who are in the Philippines nga the product is actually made for them. And mo na weakness sa mga consumers, if they feel nga specialized ang product, like mo fit or customize ang product nga murag gihimo para sa ilaha jud, they would feel special. And once they will feel special, they will really buy the brand. Muna siya ang key to a successful business. And even in our industry, class, why do you think Ritz-Carlton, Marriott are internationally known hotels worldwide, no? Because they do localization, or they do customized service. What's man yung customized service? Like, for example, I've noticed in your profile you're a businessman. So what I'm going to do is that I'll offer in the front desk I'll offer to provide you with business magazines or newspaper. And then na-notice mo siyang profile nga nag-request siya for healthy choices sa food because he is a vegetarian. So you offer him the restaurant, like, sir, why don't you try one of our restaurants here in the hotel where they offer vegetarian menu, like nalo sila yung nga no meat jud siya, or mura siya og meat ang presentation, but it's actually like plant-based siya nga food. So yung ana, no, that's customized service. So ang guest mo ka-feel niya ba nga wow, murag kabalo man jud siya unsa ako ang needs, and then gi-address pa jud niya, no, and I feel special. Therefore, I will come back to this hotel. No, kanang muna siya ang customized service, okay? Like, for example, no, kanang natay one time nga nag-book ko og room, no, kay tungod koan kanang mo take abi kong exam ang ko og Cebu. I indicated in my request if pwede I can have like room nga may window nga makita na ko ang city and all, kay wala lang nung mas laim kayong ang room nga walay window and all, diba? Or request ko sa non-smoking floor. Simple as ana ka simple nga mga request if they listen and if they make it kanang in a way nga mas i-elevate pa jud nila nga not only ibutang ka sa non-smoking nga floor and butangan po ka og room nga na eye view, at the same time like butangan kag kanang customized nga message nga welcome to Royal Hotel Messiah, ano ba? So, maka-feel ka nga special ka kay tungod murag nagpay attention dud sa imuha nga needs, no, or made specifically to what you really need. So sa industry na to, class hospitality industry, that is really a must because that's what makes our customers or our guests come back to the hotel, or i-recommend atong hotel sa uban pod nga mga guest, or tagaan tag high rating sa TripAdvisor. So siguro this will not make sense pa for some of you who are freshmen, but later on, you know, when you go to like rooms division nga subject or housekeeping or front office operations, you will really appreciate this. Even in guest service relations, this is really important. So yan po na ang localization. If you customize your product para mo fit jud sa preference and culture sa Osaka country, ma-feel nila nga this product is made specifically for them, and the more they will buy the product. Like if McDonald's will offer not only like adobo flavored nga mga burger or food, but in their kuan baron ilang mga advertisements or ilang murag ambience abiron nga murag Filipino style siya nga kuan nga like sa nakita na ko sa Iloilo nga within sa Heritage House ang Jollibee. So the more ka makaget og attention sa mga consumers, diba, or customers. So mo na ron, no, dili na pang international dating but more on international nga brand pero mo adjust siya sa local nga consumers. So in business, no, in business context, localization is shortened to the term of L10N. So many L10N. So L10N represents L, the first letter of the word localization, and the 10 represents the 10 letters between letter L, the first letter, and letter N, which is the last letter. Therefore, it's L10N. Okay, L, dayon 10, dayon N. Okay. So, again, why is it important? Diba, na-mention na ako earlier, no, why it's important. But let us expand further the importance and benefits of applying localization in business. So, no, one thing is it improves customer satisfaction. So, usually, when we don't do localization, companies will spend millions of dollars making an advertisement only to find out nga offensive di siya ani nga country. Like I remember naato yung sa advertisement nga sige siyag high five, no, naka spread out iyang hands into ang number 5, pero in countries like Greece, that's equivalent to FU, no, or FUCK, no, kanang a slur or a bad word. Mura ka ga raise yung middle finger for them, that's the middle finger for them, ang kanang 5 spread out nga hands. If you're not culturally aware, for example, so if you like apply that in your advertisement, either katawan nila, no, kay kanang unconsciously it's like you're raising a middle finger during the commercial, no, maging ana, or maybe you provide a color that is unlucky to their culture, to their religious beliefs. Like, for example, no, I don't know if this is like general sa tanan ng mga Chinese, but I have, when I had my OJT in Crown, which is owned by Chinese, no, Filipino Chinese, they do not like their OJTs in front office. I don't know karon ha, but before, back in 2015, we were not allowed to wear black suit and coat. Di ba mag-coat man jud ta na basta, or mag-corporate attire basta nata sa front office ma-assign for OJT. We were not allowed to wear all black because that is bad luck for the Chinese, or feng shui. Feng shui, feng shui. Sa feng shui nga belief, no. It's bad luck daw. And knowing front office mo man na siya ang kanang murag frontliners, diba? Dira na magpaduol ang mga customers, that is where cash are coming in, syempre. So we're not allowed to do that because it's bad luck. We have to wear other lucky colors like red, or other colors basta dili lang black. So for example, if you're not aware of that, in their culture, it's not really nice to do this, do that. So muna kanang marag, it will become offensive. Okay? Take for example, 'di ba sa to nga country, we really do not mind if we are called like negras or negros, nga kanang murag sungugon ta because of our dark skin. Ka negra pud kay nimo, or murag wala ra na sa to because we're already used to to our kayo manggi nga skin, no. But if you have that kind, like when you say that kind of word to your slogan or to your commercial, for example, in countries like sa abroad, sa United States, no, African Americans will find that offensive, diba? Find it like a racial slur. So mo na masuko sila, no. So an advantage of localization is you're able to understand the culture of your consumers, because for example, you're from the US, before ka mo advertise, before ka mo provide og products sa Philippines, you have to do research first. You have to understand their culture first so that you cannot offend them, or you will do your marketing in the right way. So it improves customer satisfaction if you do localization in the right way, because you are adjusting to their culture sa kaninga country kung asa ka mo baligya. So localization will help you prevent from falling head over heels into pitfalls like wrong advertisement or offensive advertisement, diba? So it will help you support to a more appealing user experience for your clientele, and it will increase syempre your customer conversions and influx of your customers. So next one, increase your customer base. So the ability to expand, your customer base is very essential in the globalized world. So with localization, it will be able to help you decrease the barrier for new potential customers. So instead nga, it's difficult for you to penetrate this country because you do not know how to present your brand. Like for example, ang gibuhat sa McDonald's is since it's an American brand, and Europeans have a different perspective on American fast food chain. So para nila murag dili kay ko open to McDonald's, but then McDonald's offer local food nga familiar sa mga Europeans, or specifically in London. Like they offer in their options, menu options, na ay fish and chips, which is fish and chips for those who are living in London are a staple na. It's equivalent to our adobo and rice, no? Mo na staple nila ito sa sa London, like English breakfast or fish and chips. So gi-offer na sa McDonald's sa ilahang London nga branch, and then they are highly accepted na sa mga locals dito. So gin-accept na sila because they can offer food that is really close to the heart of the kano kanang mga British, no? Which is murag they're used to this kind of food na kay mo man na ilahang staple food. So muna na kanito sa localization, it's easier for you to actually sell your products to different countries because you offer something that is close to their comfort, close to their home, no, which is very identical sa ilahang naandan, no? Maski sa pa nakanindot ang international nga food, Filipinos or other customers would always find a restaurant nga closer to home. That is why, like in LA, like in Los Angeles, there are a lot of different international nga mga restaurants or mga bistros. Like, for example, if you're a Filipino living in Los Angeles, mangita doon sila Filipino restaurant. Or naiuban nga, mangitag Indian restaurant, kay Indian sila. Diba? So, yung ana na ang sa mga consumers. No? Masking mukaon pa na sila mga food sa lain nga country, they would still really find or look for their own nga country nga food. So muna, na dapat mag-localization ka, dili kay ang consumers imong ipa-adjust sa imuha kay just because you want your brand nga would stay as it is. It's okay. If you want your like generic nga brand mo stay as it is, you can do that. Na kay ubang mga products nga imong i-retain nga as it is siya, di siya mausab, pero mag-add po kag additional nga choices sa products nga closer to their culture, closer silang naandan. So localization allows you to enter new markets more rapidly, like what I've said earlier, no? It's easier for you to introduce your product to new customers, new countries, because you offer products that is relatable to them, that resonates to their culture. Okay, so just a short history before tayo proceed pa jud, no. So localization has been already a strategy adapted by countries long time ago, most especially in the US. So localization actually has grown leaps and bounds to accommodate at least people from 190 countries with significant differences in dialect. So nag-start siya ang trend by adapting content of a product to a region in 1980s when American software began to deploy their software outside the US. So when they decided to deploy, when Americans decided to deploy their software in the 1980s and they want to extend that one abroad, they translated their software into a language of their choice. The pinaka-obvious na nga kuan is your cell phone, di ba? In your phone, you can translate any language, or even gani in Google, no, you can translate it to Tagalog. I don't know lang sa phone ha, pero sa Google baka ka-translate ka sa Tagalog, sa Chinese, sa Arabic, and lain nga language, di ba? In your phone, you can even change it to Chinese, Korean, Japanese, Spanish, no? Different kinds of language so that it can fit to the language chosen by the consumer. So that's localization, no? So today, not only mga software ang ga-translate silang content to regional languages, but also they curate content specific nga content, no, para mo fit sa taste of a region. So dili lang diha ang localization, dili na pag-translate ha, dili ra na siya ingon nga i-translate na ko ni siya to Filipino para mas dali i-accept sa ko ang Filipino consumers. No, localization is my brand is from the US. I'll translate some of my brands to Filipino, like in the packaging na aba ko'y Filipino nga translation, or um, I'll retain my packaging sa kuha nga brand, pero I'll advertise it in the Philippines with Filipino ambassadors ng mga Filipino nga kuano mga Filipino nga mga artista para sila mo advertise mo promote sa brand. Not only that, in the web page I can also translate some of the content sa ako ang business web page into Filipino so that it's closer to home. Or I'll offer a product nga may ingredient of a Filipino crop like ube. Mga yan nga example, di ba? So, we have also other examples of a company that is existing right now and is very successful when it comes to implementing localization strategies. And one example of that is Netflix. So, I don't know if everyone or some of you here has a Netflix account. Diba? Sa Netflix, you can be able to choose subtitles in different languages. Not only that, also dubbing. So, meaning, if you do not want the movie to be dubbed in English or English ang language spoken, like you want it to be in Filipino, but you are too lazy to read the subtitles, you can choose dubbing. So, ang dubbing is voice-over siya nga musapaw sa original conversation, but the one who is like talking is in Filipino nga language. And what is nice about Netflix is that there was one time I was watching an Indian movie sa Netflix unya kanang we are too lazy to read the subtitles, so we chose dubbing. So pag choose sa dubbing, it's in English, like English ang gastorya. Narjo po yung subtitles sa ubos, pero the one who is speaking in English, ga-dubbing over the Indian movie, is Indian as well. Meaning, ma-identify nimo ang Indian accent. Like, even though he is speaking in English, ginadub niya sa English ang movie, pero ang yung accent is in Indian. So, it's not detached. Lahira siya, like, for example, ang artista, Indian, pero ang gadub English, niyang accent kay slang kaayo, kay American ang gasapaw, murag detached ra kaayo siya nga murag magdili iyaha nga sinuryahan kay syempre not only dubbing siya but American kay accent pero ang gistorya kay Indian no or Pinoy kay gnaong pero slang kayo kay American ang accent. So with dubbing no ang feature sa Netflix with dubbing muka-choose kag English but with an Indian accent appropriate for the artista sa movie which is also Indian. So it doesn't feel detached. It feels like the dubbing is just part of the movie because it feels like connected. So muna sa Netflix no para ma-feel mo ba nga dili westernized kaayo no. You can choose a language of your choice. Not only that, it's closer to the region so that if you're choosing English but it's an Indian movie, it still has a hint of Indian accent in it so that it's still part no, of the culture, it's still part of the identity as Indian. So, Netflix viewing data reveals that 9 out of every 10 people who watch the German TV series Dark live outside of Germany. And this is all thanks to dubbing and subtitles, no? Because when you watch a German show, you cannot understand. But with subtitles or with dubbing, you can easily watch Western movies and appreciate unsa ilahang like cinematography nila dito, how they make movies and compare it with American movies. So at least dili na siya ma-centralize lang into American movies ang atong lantaon. We can even appreciate foreign movies because of the features ni Netflix. Even gani in India, no, they were able to watch Narcos, Stranger Things, 13 Reasons Why, Riverdale, Black Mirror, and Chef's Table because these American shows, they provide English dubbing or Telugu or Hindi dubbing or Hindi subtitles in India, which makes the consumers or customers appreciate the series well. So that's an example of a successful globalization and localization strategy made by Netflix, no? Because it allows them to expand more to different languages. So not only that, no, Netflix, no, nag-digitize na siya because they started in 1997 as an online DVD rental. So sa una tong bata pa ko no, agto jud sa syudad kay mo abang jud og salida. Abangan og pila ka adlaw marpug libro ba no, abangan og pila ka adlaw dinhi uli kay wala pa may Netflix sa una. So karon no, with just a tap of a finger or sa ato ang remote, it's easier to look for movies, even mga karaan nga salida and Netflix, because it's on an online platform. Ubayad lang noon po ka no, but syempre you're really paying the subscription so that you can continue watching or streaming movies online. So not only that, no, Netflix has been using an app to expand languages and scripts to other countries pa jud kay they've noticed some streaming services limited ra ang mga language nga you're allowed to choose. In Netflix, they use an app navigation and user interface for different countries so that it would be easier for you. Like for example, if you live in a country nga dili kayo ilado and do not have a common nga subtitle ato, so with the pseudo location, even if your language is like it's not common, no, it can still be translated to that language because of this technology by Netflix. Okay. So, before tayo proceed sa lesson 4, very short na jud kaayo sa lesson 4, so we will just i-continue na to, no, kay para at least by 8 p.m. we are done. Di na tayo magkuan chop. So, you already did this one, you have already this assignment, but later tonight, I'll show you 2 questions that you need to answer similar to this one, but you'll just have to submit it by Friday. For this one, deadline for lesson 3 assignment will be this coming Thursday because before I rescheduled our class for Tuesday, di ba niyon ko ninyo nga na ako'y i-upload nga assignment last week katong absent wala ko kaklase ninyo. So make sure to finish that one so that by Thursday you can submit this. So no longer for me to discuss it na no kay nakakuan naman mo, nakahimo naman mo ani, or kung wala pa at least kabalo naman mo no. Ang lesson 4 na lang. So ang lesson 4 i-upload na ko siya karon and then the deadline will be this Friday. 2 questions na po siya similar to lesson 3 assignment. Okay, let's continue to lesson 4. Very, very short. 5 slides naman si lesson 4 kay importance of localization in business industry. But before that, I'll show you a video first on the importance of localization. Actually, what I like about this video, it's not only it's short, but what is nice about it is that it discusses the importance of localization very well and the steps that you need to take when you want to proceed localization for your business. And Coca-Cola Manggod, they do not just sell a beverage, they sell an idea that if you drink this product or if you have this product, like you'd be happier, even happier jud nga kanang in a sense because you know, if you think happiness is based man jud sa imuha nga perception on what happiness is, diba? Pero they mean is, you know, they sell the product so well nga marag almost convinced na ka nga, you know, it's always lighter if you have with a Coca-Cola mga ingana. I cannot elaborate on further because usually I need to pair this one with infographics and ano para ma-appreciate niyo. But you try to look at the marketing strategies of Coca-Cola in YouTube, how they are so successful in selling an idea. It's only a sugary drink, pero they know how to advertise their product so well. Nga they're not just selling a sugary soda, but they're selling an idea of happiness in a bottle. Mojo na ilahang work slogan ng happiness in a bottle. Making families complete. Labi na sa Philippines, families rin na kalabanan, no? Mojo na duol sa ato ang culture. So anyway, try to watch this 2-minute clip on why is localization important.
Is marketing localization important?
Sorry.
For my brand? Part 1. What is marketing localization and is it important for my brand? Marketing is one of the main factors of driving business.
Those are just the example and importance of localization. No? So, again kay kag things i-consider, again, not just translating but really adapting your product to a certain culture. Like katong sa Coca-Cola, like we did mention of Coca-Cola, like in China, no, Keke-Kulu. So, very closer to Coca-Cola na Japan, what it translates to a different Chinese meaning. Like great taste and happiness for nun. So, but I forgot already, but closer to the Chinese language, no. Just like similar to what they did with Red Bull, from Krating Daing to Red Bull, no. Kuan lang nun to siya, no. Nabali na po, no, from regional language to universal. So many things actually, like since we did it did made mention of Chinese, no, nga consumers, like ang Black Panther nga poster, like sa America, walay helmet si Chadwick Boseman, pero since I don't know if racist ang mga Asians or urban nga naa sa like sa Chinese nga kuan, but ang ila is covered ang face ni Chadwick Boseman with helmet sa Black Panther, kunya like sa mga western or not western, but I mean mga Middle East countries nga medyo mga Muslim countries sa sila, no. Like ang sa cover ni Katy Perry kay covered siya with clouds, na murag half nude siya dito. Sa ilha kay gitabunan siya tanan. Kunya basta na like daghan, no, kanang i-alter nila to really fit the culture, so that dili po, not only nga dili maban sa ilang country kana nga product, at least they will have a wide consumer base, no, nga dili lang ay muli kay taan na sa China, ay muli kay lang taan ng mga Muslim countries o kay stricto, no. May expand Japan ka, no. Another example of localization nga ano is like sa Pizza Hut, wherein they offer halal toppings, like walay pork, like beef lang, no, or makalutiki in Hawaii, like sa McDonald's nga, just like what they did in UK or sa London nga, the fish and chip staple nila dito nga food. Ang sa Hawaii is kuan siya, fish patty, or kanang murag battered fish, and then with kuan siya, fish fillet style, no, o kanang slice of pineapple. So kasi since tropical man ang Hawaii, no, so maging ana ang kuan nila, no, fish sandwich na itong makalutiki. Even the name of the food, no, is pang Polynesian. So anyway, let's continue. We're almost done with our discussion. Lesson 4 na ta. Very short lang, just some few slides sa lesson 4. Then we will end with our discussion tonight. No, importante is you can keep up with the other sections po, no, kay basin mabiyaan ta. So again, localization is a popular tool. Dili na siya one size fits all. We really need to adapt. We really need to adjust our products to fit with our regional consumers. If you want to be a globalized an international brand, we have to start with localization. Modyo na siya, no? Start locally, no? Start locally, think globally. So again, you'll be able to discuss the importance of localization in business industry with our lesson 4 discussion for tonight. So we live in a global village. Buyers are no longer limited to geography. Even with technology, it's easier for us to grasp information with just one snap of our finger. So it's very important that we do localization, because connecting with our consumers really matters. No, it really does matter. So again, why is it very important? So it's very important because we'll be able to communicate our brand effectively, if we translate it to a language that they can understand, but as well as if really adapting the product to fit their needs, their preferences, to what they feel nga makakonect jud sila. So these are just some 5 of the things that, you know, importance nga, no, the importance of localization. So the first one, very obvious, I mentioned this one earlier. Localization will help you enter new markets with ease. It's easier for you to introduce a product to a new market. Like take for example, I'm a Filipino brand, but since I already did a study on mga Thai consumers and Indonesian consumers. I know how to introduce my product to them nga dili sila ma-offend or ma-taken aback nga ma-accept nila akong product because I'm also tapping Indonesian artists or Thai nga mga artists to advertise the brand for me, mga ana ba na I'm a Filipino ambassador for that brand. Not only that, no, it translates sa ilaha nga language, easier for them to understand, or have the product na fit jud sa ilaha. So next is localization will give you a competitive edge. It may not be a total competitive edge for local competitors like what you see against McDonald's and Jollibee, no, nga although McDonald's seems to be the number one fast food chain sa other countries, sa Philippines number one Japan si Jollibee, no? Maybe because of its Filipino taste and local man din siya nga brand. So, syempre, tangkilikin ang sariling atin, no? So, but anyway, you have to also consider that local competitors can really meet the preference and can really meet the needs of local consumers as well because syempre, it's an advantage to them. I am a Filipino. I know what Filipinos want. Therefore, it's an advantage for me to sell my products against my international competitors because I have a Filipino feel, no? Like, I have a Filipino kanang connection to my consumers. Other than new pa lang ka nga brand, not unless if mo kontra kay mga dagko na jud nga international brands. No nga, syempre, pilion jud lang international brand kay proven and tested na. But what I mean, if I'm a new brand niya, ang kani nga product new pa man niya versus like an international brand nga bag-o pod siya pero syempre dili pa kay makagain og trust sa consumers, advantage ra po nako as a local business. So kung ikaw, if you're an international brand, or a global brand and you want to sell your brand, for example, in Indonesia, you cannot actually compete with local competitors. It will be very difficult because it's easier for the audience to trust a local business than an outsider. Diba, labi na if dili ka ilado nga business. Pero, you can still have a competitive edge because if your global competitors, like take for example, if McDonald's cannot beat Jollibee when it comes to being the number one fast food chain, McDonald's still has an advantage if they do localization. If ang ilang competitors like Burger King or Popeye's Chicken or Wendy's will not do localization. So, mula na competitive edge ni localization for global businesses if ilang global competitor dili mag-localize. So, again, importante jud ang localization kung magsugod kag business and ma-expand ka abroad. Third one, localization will increase customer satisfaction. So again, if they see that you have a product that is customized to fit their need, the more they will be satisfied. The more they will accept your product. Number 4, localization will increase brand loyalty. So when they see that you are really listening to what they prefer, at the same time you fit your product to what they ilang naandan na, what they're used to, and you communicate your product and your advertisement in the native language, and tailoring your product will help you gain the trust of the locals or the local consumers. And then the last one, localization will increase your revenue. If they feel that they are comfortable with your brand, like take for example, person ginabuhat ni Maybelline, no? Maybelline launched shades for morenas. So, ang mga karbanan sa mga Pinay is morena, di ba? So, sa una, mahadlo ka mo gamit sa mga products ni Maybelline kay pang puti ra siya. Like, puti kay ilahang foundation, puti kayo, ang ilahang mga lipstick, bright ra kayo, like, ang mga puti ra ang ayan, ani. But since they tend to localize, like, they have, like, Maybelline Philippines. Maybelline is not from the Philippines, but it's a US brand. So with Maybelline Philippines, they came up with like nude color sa lipstick nga mo fit mo complement sa morena skin, at the same time offer a darker shade of foundation baron, a darker shade of powder, not only for Filipinos but for darker skinned nga mga consumers outside of the country. The more na-appreciate no, sa mga consumers nga, wow, no, Maybelline, knowing it's a US brand, really listens to us like Filipina nga mga consumers because they have like pang morena nga kuan nga hindi pud too dark, like sakto-sakto sa morena nga skin, no, like sa lipstick man nila or sa powder o sa ilahang mga foundation. And then for African American, no, naapod sila yung mga darker chocolate color nga kuan, no, mga foundation nga meant for their pigment, meant for their skin color, meant for their ano kanang ilahang sa tawag kanang silahang nga shade, no, di ba? So, because of that, no, kay tungod kuan, the more na noon nga patronize ang imong consumer sa imong product, and the more may increase imong revenue. That is why makabantay ka nga the more inclusive ang product, the more nga open, like wow, kanang nindot ni siya nga product kay made for Filipinos siya, no, the more noon nga laghag mo palit, thus increases your revenue, increases your profit. So there's nothing wrong with localization because not only daghan nung kag customers, daghan pa nung kag kwarta kay daghang mo palit sa imong products, diba? So mo na siya, dili kay sila may mupalit, dapat sila yung mo-adjust, no? Mo na niya ako ang pag-market sa kong brand. No, dili dapat yung ana. Because you have to remember, the lifeblood of your business is your customer. If you don't listen to them, if you don't really understand what they need, dili jud ka ma-become like a successful business. It will be difficult for you to sustain your business if you do not listen to your consumer. So it's very, very important. Okay? So those are just some of the things that you have to consider once you do localization. These are just some of the 5 importance of localization, but it goes beyond more. And I think some of the videos that I show you tonight already did justice already to the discussion, no? So I do hope you got something from me tonight. Giditso na ko siya, no, kay para at least it's almost 8 p.m. but at least we can finish na and have dinner. I know some of you are having dinner right now while listening to me. Again, very short naman si lesson 3 and 4. You have wala naman tayong mga lesson 5 na lang nga itong i-discuss by next week so that we can proceed with module 2 which discusses na globalization. Before ta mag-take of attendance, by the way, no, I'd like to remind everyone that please, for those na wala jud ga follow up sa ilahang mga output sa Google Classroom, kindly visit Google Classroom within this week because I will be finalizing your grades. If dili ta ka meet sa deadline by Friday, I will submit na your grades over the weekend. So, di na ako na siya mausab mo na siya. So, kindly, please, except sa mga quizzes and prelim, kay ninglabay na siya, wala tayo second chance ato. Pero katong mga essay na to nga mga outputs, kindly make time to answer them. Most especially your assignment, no, pero midterm, assignment to karon midterm, so wala mo yung angay i-pressure, no, kay ang katuro mga previous to pang prelim ra ang atong i-prioritize. For your assignment karong Thursday, basta Thursday lang i-submit, di lang magpa-late. And then again, I'll post an activity also for lesson 4 tonight. 2 questions naman siya, very easy to answer. Hopefully, you will not use AI or Google, no, to answer. Make use of your brain, own ideas to answer the essay. Kaya dito mag-depend mostly on technology. It provides us with so many things. It's both a friend and also a foe. But again, at the end of the day, alkansi ra Japon mo because when you graduate, when you depend so much on technology, it will not help you think anymore because you're so used to being spoon-fed with answers from online nga mugawas na noon nga you're so dependent nga di na mo kabalong maghuna-una, di na mo kabalong what do you call this in your language, maminsar, no? Ito ba? No, you do not know how to think anymore. Okay? So even basic na explanation you don't know how na. But I think kuan man you get so easily tempted, that is understandable. But again, akan sila Japon ang magpadala sa temptation of purely online answers, no? So, these are just 2 questions. Your assignment, 2 questions as well. So, 4 questions all in all, essay type. Kindly answer them so that naa na tayo activities for midterm. Lesson 3 and 4 activities, okay? Lesson 3 already uploaded, deadline Thursday. Lesson 4 will be uploaded tonight, ang activity, deadline Friday. Okay, so any questions everyone before you'll proceed with our attendance checking so that we can rest na no? It's already 8 p.m. Sa uban nga wala pa ka-dinner no? Is maka-dinner na karon. Wala pa maka-dinner na. Is maka-dinner na. Ang uban nga naka-dinner na, at least pakaway na. Questions?
That we're going to see is in Malasana. Just to give you an idea, Malasana is
No?
like the artist district. So, makakita ka ng mga maraming graffitis,
None?
around the neighborhood.
Medyo quiet nito for tonight, no?
It's actually
Okay, so since there are no questions, I will be calling your name, and once I call your name, kindly click the raise hand button so that I will know that you are present.
This is in Malasana.
Okay. Since ang iban isa man lang og device, just kindly say present. Pero katong wala ga share og device, ikaw lang usa gagamit sa phone, click the raise hand button lang.
Bigger than it actually is. Actually, 3 bedrooms.
Okay, we will start with
There were a lot of
Slid, Adrian,
apartment, and it's actually beautiful.
Aloyan,
Makikita niyo rin na meron siyang exposed bricks. And I love it kasi parang